I came here as a science teacher back in 2003, 2004. My training was in environmental science, so I had an undergraduate degree and a grad degree, both in environmental policy and environmental management. And so this has always been something that I've been interested in. Yeah. Why did we choose Navien? We looked at a number of vendors and a number of different options for this replacement of this room down here. So we had, up until November of this past year, we had 2 large boilers and a hot water tank down here. They'd been giving us issues with repair costs and maintenance costs. The system, obviously 10 years old, more than 10 years old, was getting to the point where we started thinking about, from an efficiency perspective, had some potential for savings. So we looked at a variety of other options, replacing kind of what we had, going down just having one boiler, not having the redundancy, and then we got into the conversation about tankless systems. That removed a big issue that we've had here at school, which is we blow through tanks here for some reason, maybe based on the town water, amount of chlorine, whatever it is. So we go through tanks on a fairly regular basis here at school, and so that was a big issue that we wanted to address. And so our plumbing contractor came up to us and said, hey, we've got a really cool option that we have in a number of other buildings that we use around the Boston area, and we think you guys should take a look at it. So that's when we pulled out the spec sheets on these and started to take a look a little bit more closely. On some level, most of us were a little bit skeptical, simply because we looked at it and we said, so this is all that you need, right? And this room was designed for something that's a lot bigger than what we've gotten here right now. So, it seemed to provide a number of different sort of opportunities for us, not only on the efficiency upgrades, but then also on the size. Also the redundancy, we're able to take care of redundancy from that perspective here too, without going to 2 big boiler systems. This provides the hot water for our dining hall. So our dining hall will run, it should be the last building on campus standing in the event of an emergency. And so we want to make sure that we're always producing hot water that we need down here in this building. So we didn't want to give up on the redundancy, though actually we were leaning towards giving up on that simply because of cost. We have been able to measure the savings. We've had a BTU meter that we put in here on the line for about a month and a half this past spring. Our calculations conservatively are that we're going to save about $20,000 a year in water, natural gas, and electricity. That's because of this, and also at the same time we did this replacement here, we installed a new dishwashing system upstairs as well. So significant savings upstairs in terms of efficiency, but also significant savings down here, which is great. The other piece that's nice to think about is we were spending at least a couple $1,000s a year on repair and maintenance. In terms of maintenance, all we need to do is swap out I think that's a water softener right there, so that helps with some of the water that's going into the system. But I believe outside of that, there's not a whole heck of a lot that we have to do. It's pretty much set it and forget it, and these systems will cycle on and off as needed.
We chose Navien because of the instantaneous tankless style on the heater, and we were able to put a multiple for redundancy in. As you can see, one is basically handling the hot water right now, and they are step fired, and they give each other redundancy for maximum load. Part of the advantages of this system is it does have a stainless steel heat exchanger versus a copper or brass or bronze heat exchanger. Sure, the new units now are PVC vented, and they are manifolded actually through common vents as one. The prior unit that was in here had all stainless steel venting, which actually had pit holes in it, and it was rotted over time. As far as maintenance goes, we don't have anywhere near the amount of pumps circulating water. The unit is all self-contained to one pump, basically circulating the water through the unit, where the other units had individual pumps on each boiler of the 2 boilers, and then circulation pumps. But the maintenance is next to nil.
Has it met our expectations? Absolutely. I mean, yes. Again, I think the sign of a successful project is one that you don't have to think about. And so, our guys haven't had to come in here once. We haven't had to have our plumbing contractor come in here once since this started up. And we've had all the hot water that we need upstairs in the dining hall. So the answer to that question is yes. and mainly because we haven't had to think about it.